Hi, I'm Heather. Looks like I forgot to add my light. It looks okay with the amount of light I've got, but let's just add a little bit more. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do a little nugget dump, which what that means is Corinne and I had some chats this morning on Marco Polo and shared some really amazing nuggets of wisdom with each other, and we want to share it with you. So let's see, looking at my notes. Okay. So one thing that I have already been talking about, but she and I are both very much experiencing, as well as many people we know are experiencing, are these really extreme lows, maybe a lot of lows. And then every once in a while there'll be a high, and then some fucking lows. And what we've noticed is when I'll speak for myself, when I'm in the low, I kind of can't imagine that it's ever going to stop, that it's ever going to end. This is my new reality. This is where I'm always going to be. It feels extraordinarily difficult and hopeless. And I'm able to recognize that every day there's a significant chunk of the day where I don't feel that way. And when I'm feeling all right, or even when I'm feeling good, it's sort of hard to imagine, like, why does it get so fucking brutal when I'm in that dark space? But the big win there is, even though it happens every day, it's not all day. And that's a big difference than it had been at other stages of my life. So, and I think the big key there that I wanted to make sure to share is we know lots of people, Corinne and I both know lots of people that this is happening to all the freaking time. You're not alone. If you feel some extreme lows on the friggin' regular, you're not alone. And try to tune into, are there some decent moments every day? Maybe even some highs now and then. So that was one thing. We're talking about making more sound. I have a lot of restriction in my throat chakra. There's actual like literal trauma with me using my voice. I've told this story before. This is just one of the stories that has really closed up my ability to use sound, particularly loud sound. Was as a kid, my friend and I were screaming and having fun and just having fun with our loud voices. And all the grown-ups came out of the house with their guns and fear on their faces because they thought we were being eaten by bears. So that's just one of the more extreme examples of why I have a hard time making sound. So when I'm processing big emotions, I try to make as much sound as possible. I notice even in the context of a therapy session, I don't make a lot of sound. Like, just being the sheer act of being witnessed shuts my voice down. So I'm working on that with my therapist and practicing a lot. And Corinne and I were kind of talking about how we make crazy faces when we make sound, and just encouraging others to bring your voice out more and more. And that's not just with words. It's with actual, like, literal, just guttural or random sounds. So that was another big theme we were talking about. This is really important. So we're noticing that there's definitely been big progress made over the past year. Like, I just made a video where I talked about where it actually was a year ago in 2020, the end of July 2020. I was in a fucking shit space. Like, my life was like one of the worst country music songs possible. Lost my boyfriend, I lost my house, I lost my dog, I lost my kid. Like, I didn't have any income. Like, everything sucked. And a lot has changed, incrementally, slowly, step by step. Same with Corinne. And I know that's the same with a lot of other folks too. And we also get really fucking pissed when there's some fucking people who are like, oh, this whole quarantine thing was pretty great. Like, I got a lot of alone time and like self-reflection, and I did a lot of projects and la la. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking tear your fucking throat out. Because it makes a big fucking difference. People who had stability and consistent income and didn't have to be afraid at every moment that they were going to lose fucking everything. And if they did feel that they were going to lose fucking everything, they knew, like, logically, no, that's not really going to happen. Well, there were some of us who really fucking lost everything. And I am also able to look back on parts of 2020 and early 2021 and go, okay, it actually was pretty good for me. I'm really glad that I had these opportunities to slow way down and spend a lot of time with myself and spend a lot of time processing a lot of stuff that I hadn't had a chance to process. So I still will say, yes, okay, overall, it's been for the best. But I'm going to fucking throat punch you if you're like, oh, it's all like great. Yeah, it's a different world, asshole. I love that analogy of we're all in the same storm, but we're not in the same fucking boat. And that makes a big difference. Some of us were barely holding on to a broken piece of wood to stay afloat. Some of you motherfuckers were in a really nice, comfy, I won't even call it a yacht, even if you're just in a really nice, comfy, stable boat that didn't have a bunch of holes in it. You had a different experience. Be aware of that. The intensity of that surprised me a little bit. What just came out of me. All right. Let's see. Oh, Corinne said this really beautiful thing in the Marco Polo to me. She said, may our journeys be an example for people across the world to show that we can get our needs met. We can be listened to. We can listen to others. We can connect even when we aren't face to face or in the same room. Oh, that was beautiful. I've been talking or practicing a lot lately, and I need to talk about it more. Basically days where I just try to keep my heart rate mellow. And that goes for good excitement as well as excitement that I would deem, unpleasant. So it's not just about the fear coming up and getting my heart rate going. It's also about, like, I'm having a really great day and I'm having so much fun with my friends. Like, even that, I got to keep my heart rate level lower. I'm actively trying to teach my body how to no longer essentially be physically addicted to cortisol, trying to break the cortisol addiction and the nervous system constant activation. My nervous system has essentially been in constant activation since I was a young child. And so it makes sense that I don't really know what it feels like to fully relax or to fully breathe deeply. So I have to teach my body how to relax and how to be calmer. And so one of the tools I use for that is at least one day a week where I make a concerted effort to keep my heart rate mellow as much of the time as possible. So regardless of what I'm doing, regardless of who I'm with or what I'm doing, keep my heart rate mellow. So I'm attempting one of those days today, and already I haven't been terribly successful, but that's all right. I'll just keep resetting. This is another really important piece. So, like, we were talking about the progress we've made over the past year. Both Corinne and I have just made tremendous strides in our mental health stability, in our physical health stability. We've both gone through some pretty difficult health issues. Some of hers were more emergency type than I didn't have any emergencies, but definitely some struggles. and I'm feeling kind of optimistic. I started a new supplement regimen today based on some tests that my naturopath and I did that indicate that it is actually more difficult for my body to detox than most people's bodies. I have this little gene mutation that makes it difficult. So, um, without getting my hopes up too high, she said there's a chance that this supplement regimen will help me feel more consistent energy, and maybe even less pain in just a few weeks. So that'll be nice. And I've gotten excited about health improvements before that didn't come through. So we'll just see. I think what I was trying to say is on the theme of progress. My morning routine has gotten very good over the past year in that I've known for quite some time, for probably about 2 years now, that the keys to a good morning routine for my system are there is intentional movement that can look lots of different ways. Currently, it's mostly qigong, shaking my body, just stretching my body, doing my physical therapy exercises. So intentional movement, at least 10 minutes. I usually do a little more than that, but at least 10 minutes. Um, Meditation, even if it's only 5 minutes. And meditation sometimes literally it's just me sitting quietly and just tuning into my senses, and anytime a thought comes by, just let it go like it's in a stream, and it's just gonna keep going. Let it go. And sometimes, most mornings, my beloved and I listen to Sam Harris's Waking Up app and follow one of his guided meditations. So that's usually what meditation looks like for me. Another key, so that's two. The third key for me in a morning, and again, it doesn't actually be morning, just at some point in the day, but I like to try to do it at the beginning of the day so it kind of sets the tone. Like genuine connection, and frequently that looks like Marco Polo videos with my friends. I love that because it doesn't matter if they're available at the same time as I am, and they can come back to it whenever they want. Do a little bit of, I do actually count some of my social media time as genuine connection. Frequently in the morning, what I do is I like to look at my memories on Facebook, and maybe I just see like a couple of things that really pop out at me, but I don't spend a ton of time on social media in the morning. But frequently, those things that pop out at me or the memories that come up are profound, and I love that and feel truly connected, truly connective for me. And then the fourth piece, and I feel like I'm forgetting stuff. I know I've gone through what my routine is and have said what always is included, but um, oh, I think breath work is what I've said, honestly, but really breath work has become part of my my movement routine. So, but I should still name it. Reflection. So, some time spent in intentional reflection, whether that be journaling or um, reading my tarot cards or just kind of thinking back compassionately and lovingly about the day before or what I'm doing the day coming, is different than just kind of looking at to-do lists. So my routine, my daily routine has definitely really gotten solid. And I really notice don't, if I don't do it, or if I let something in too early in the day, like news, or something just really challenging, or something really linear. If I let any of that stuff in too early in the day, it kind of is harder for me to recover from early in the day than it would be later in the day. So, oh my God, how does this time just fly? It's already 14 minutes and there was more stuff that I wanted to say. Let's see. Oh, this was another big piece that Corinne, I was taking notes from our Marco Polo. Um, she's really noticing that over this past year, compared to about this time last year to now, and I would say this is true for me too, that the level of self-worth, self-love, self-preservation, that voice that speaks up for myself, especially in like kind of a situation I find myself in kind of a people pleasing situation, that inner voice of, hey, it's okay, take care of yourself, make sure your needs are met first, is getting louder and clearer and easier to follow. So that felt like a really big celebration for both of us. Corinne brought it up. And a lot has changed in the past year, and we're still figuring out how to navigate this intensity and this complexity and this drama. And it's not, I don't think the outer world is going to get any simpler or any mellower anytime soon. So I definitely put a lot of intention into how can I continue to create a life that can continue to be supportive of myself and my closest beloveds, even if the world feels like it's blowing up. Okay, so I feel like I really want to make a separate video about the other stuff that I want to talk about because I like to keep them short, bite-sized, snack-sized. So yeah, I'm gonna come back with some more of a nugget dump in another video. Let's see if there's one that I really want to end on. I don't think so. The theme appears to be last year compared to this year, and I think some intentional reflection could really benefit a lot of us. Think about where we were at this time last year versus where we are now. I'm willing to bet that many of us are in a much better place right now than we were mid-year last year in a lot of different ways, even if it still feels like a fucking shit show, dumpster fire, hellscape, because that's true too. Okay, hope you have a great rest of your day.